Well, how's it going, everybody? Once again, we've arrived at a great moment of time here. We got a beautiful 65 to 70 degree day here. There's a fog kind of lingering around the lake, and we'll see it when we get further out into the park here. I'm probably just going to head to the Buckingham Fountain now that it's on. I know we covered it on TikTok on Saturday when they turned it on, and so I figured today would be a good day since we got some sunshine and we got beautiful weather to head through Millennium Park. We'll go through the Lurie Gardens there, either on the way back or the way there, and we'll go to the Buckingham Fountain, see the skyline, see this kind of fog that, you know, the lake, the lake's trying to warm up. Chris, how you doing there? Krista, Jason, Ernie, thanks for tuning in. The lunch bunch is starting to file in here. Am I gonna make this light? Let's see. Let's see how many. Yeah, we got 15 seconds. We're going because I don't want to wait 30 seconds for this light. So we're gonna make it across here. I don't think this bus is turning. So yeah, it is turning. Oh God. Hey, I'm getting my exercise today. So hey, we made it across. Yeah, Krista, how you doing there? D. Michael, Rob on the road. Thanks for tuning in here. Good afternoon here. Yeah, so we'll check out and see what tulips are left here. There's the Pittsfield building. There's that skyscraper that guy on TikTok bought. Pittsfield building. We went through there last Thursday, I think. Yeah, we went through the bottom of the Pittsfield Cafe. Yeah. What is that? So here, the fountain's on. Yeah. Another sign of spring here. Look at that. We got the Millennium Park colonnade here. Fountain's on. Summer's on. I know it's still springtime, but we're gonna roll with this. We're gonna roll with these good vibes. Wes, Lorene, how you doing there? Look, the fountain's on. Yeah, signs of spring here. All the founders here, the people taking pictures here, yeah. Yeah. Hey, got motorcycles out. Another sign of the season here. Yeah. It's gonna really warm up later this week. I know the rest of the nation's hot too. We're finally gonna get in the 80s later this week. Today is just picture perfect. It's like natural air conditioning. And so, yeah, we'll head over to the Buckingham Fountain. They turned it on. Thanks to everybody that watched there on TikTok on Saturday. But we'll see if there's anybody over there today. They got some jazz bands there on the corner. Maybe we'll hit them on the way back. Yeah, 3 coins in the fountain. Each one seeking happiness. Yeah, the Frank Sinatra song there. Made famous by Plane, Trains, and Automobiles, where he sings it on the bus there. And everybody on the bus are like, we don't know that song. And then Del Griffith, John Candy's character, sings the Flintstones, and everybody on the bus knows the Flintstones song. Hey, look, the tulips, the end of the tulips here. Yeah, Millennium Park, they got the bar going here. We go through here all the time. This is just a very tourist-centric. I know we'll get people to be like, go there, go there. This is my lunch break. I'm not going to head too far from the office. And since we got this sunshine, we'll check out the Bean. And we'll see if we can make it to the Buckingham Fountain. We've done this walk many times, usually in the summertime. I don't go to the Buckingham Fountain hardly at all in the wintertime when it's turned off, because there's just nothing going on over there. But there'll be stuff going on over there today. Yeah, Raul, how you doing there? Yeah, thanks for tuning in there. Yeah. So, here's the Great Bean of Chicago. See that mist? Look at that mist. That's coming from the lake there. It's kind of like a little moisture in the air. It was foggy by the lake this morning, and we were seeing it from the high rises here. So, hey, the Great Bean of Chicago, people taking pictures here. Yeah. Well, Big G, that's like your opinion. And watch something else. Or you can stick around and just like make money for me, like by posting nasty comments, and we'll just ignore you. This is beautiful. How can you not like this? Look at the beautiful being in Chicago. It's part of America. So maybe you're bashing America. We can understand that. Look at yeah, look at that. Look how nice this looks. And we got sunshine, we got flowers. We'll go over and check out the Crown Fountain here. And it doesn't bother me if you don't enjoy it or not. We're gonna enjoy it. I'm enjoying my walk here. I appreciate everybody else tuning in here on the Lunch Bunch. And some people just don't know how to enjoy things, and that's up to you. So we'll let you be. Here, look at the Great Bean here. We'll head over to yeah, the Crown Fountain here. The faces. They got the other fountain turned on here. Look at that, the Willoughby Tower. And then there's this housing. Oh, you hear that train? You hear that train coming? Yeah, we'll check out these sculptures. And look at that. Isn't it amazing when you like respond to trolls with kindness? You know, they don't know what to do. They'll bash you personally, and you're like, hey, wow, you're great at creating insults there. Wow, you're a great person there. And they're just like, what do I do now? I can't affect this person's mood. Isn't that amazing? The trolls have no power over us. Your words just float off into the ether. If you really want to debate, come meet me here in real life and we'll talk in person. You can meet me on the street here. I'm easy to find. Here's the look at the beautiful. Maybe we can have a good time and actually realize we have more in common. Here, look at the nice sculpture here. Hey, the Crown Fountain's on. Let's see if we get this faces here. Let's see if they're gonna pucker up and give us some fountain, spit some water on us here. Hey, look at this nice sculpture here. Yeah, Poto de los Plantanos. Look at that. Yeah, the sunshine. We haven't seen the sunshine since we don't know when. Look at the I want bourbon, I want scotch, I want beer. Look at these flowers here. Yeah, so here, look at the nice. So there you can see the Sears Tower. There's the 55 Monroe building. They're still renovating the bottom of it. And yeah, here's the hey, people doing handstands there. Look at that. Waiting for this fountain to do something here. Takes about 5 minutes for it to cycle through the whole thing here. Hey, look at that. Hey, taking a picture. Let's check it out here. See if we can catch him. Don't your feet get cold in the wintertime? Yes, they do. That's why you wear double socks. You wear layers. Hey, these are all Chicagoans that volunteered to put their faces up here. And we'll wait for it to spit out the water here. It's getting ready. I think he notices they're getting ready there. Hey, they're taking pictures there. Hey, there's a tour going through. There's a real tour guide, so you can talk to that guy in the orange hat there. He'll give you a nice tour. Here's the taco trucks. Come on. It always takes so long. I'm usually always waiting around for these things to pucker up and give us a show here. You're losing your highs and lows. Yeah, pucker up. We want to get moving here. 12:05. I always get trapped into this where I'm waiting and then I invest so much time in it that I gotta wait, and then we wait like 5 full minutes before it goes through the cycle here. But here, we'll check out the sculptures here. Usually if I walk away, they'll start going. You see people posing for pictures here. Welcome to Chicago. This is part of Millennium Park. This is the Crown Fountain here. I'm just glad they're back on. We haven't gotten much footage here recently because this has been off all winter here. So hey, thanks for tuning in there. Yeah, 12:05 Tennessee. We got the same time. We're in the Central Time Zone here, so we're 12:05 in the PM here. Chicago, Illinois, here, Central Time Zone. Same with some of Tennessee's in the Eastern, some of Tennessee's in the Central. just like Indiana. There's small portions of Indiana that are in the central Evansville and northwest Indiana here. Yeah, Desperado. That's a beautiful song, yeah. There, let's see if we can get the Crown Fountain here. Hey, she's closing her eyes, so maybe they're gonna pucker up here and give us something to, here we go, here we go. Here's the Crown Fountain. They're gonna spit out some water here. There it goes. Look at that, yeah, see, the kids love it there. It's warm enough. You can, there, that looks better there. Look at that. There's the unique fountain here, the Crown Fountain here. They're taking photos there. Look at that. Yeah. This one's barely. This one's just like there's something wrong with the shower head there. It's not as much of a flow. But here, let's head past the Art Institute here, and we'll try to make it to the Buckingham Fountain there. You see that? Your dentist would be proud of that. Yeah. Yeah. You go to the dentist, you got to spit into the little porcelain bowl there. Yeah, rinse and spit, rinse and spit. Nobody likes going to the dentist. Hey, look at the taco trucks here. Tasty. Yeah. So we got elotes nachos, tacos delicia, tasty Chicago. There, let's cross the street here. So let's cross here at Michigan and Monroe here. There's the University Club. There's the Monroe building. That used to have the Prisker Military Library, but it moved. Hey, they're working on the median there. And hey, Frida, Months in Paris there. They got an exhibition there at the Art Institute. So if I lose my connection, we'll walk through it. Sometimes there's a dead zone with the cell towers right here by the Art Institute. And we notice it when we go by the fountain of the Great Lakes there. We got some footage of it on Saturday on TikTok. We'll see what's open here today. They got this sculpture garden here. And we'll head by the lions. Yeah, we're taking us on a walk here. Come along. We're going to go to the Buckingham Fountain. So right now we're on Michigan Avenue. There's the loop of Chicago all this way. There's the street wall. We'll head past the Art Institute of Chicago. See the lions here. And then we'll head over to the Buckingham Fountain because it's on. It's on when the Buckingham Fountain's on. It means we're in the warm 6 months of the year. They just turned it on Saturday. And it was a big ceremony. And a good time was had by all. Saw Jay City Walking Girl was there. I don't know how I couldn't find her. I was looking for her, but we found this Gemini. I figured she was over there because I saw she was walking over there when I headed down. And she did. She got some good footage from the opposite side when the fountain, she got some in landscape. Nick Koiken went back to the fountain later and did a nice sped up circumnavigation of the fountain. There's the lions. The lions in front of the Art Institute of Chicago here. One of the symbols of Chicago. When the sports teams, if they ever make the playoffs, they'll put the bears. Hey, how you doing? Hey, thanks for saying. That's great. How you doing? Yeah, see friends, people saying hello here, sitting at the Art Institute of Chicago. Freda's got the exhibit here. There's the Sears Tower. There's the Sears Tower. And there's the begin sign for Route 66. We talk about it all the time. So Route 66, the one the song sings about, starts in Chicago, goes to St. Louis. You go right, yeah, you go right down Adams Street to Ogden, make a left. You go all the way to California. So Route 66 begins in Chicago. Get your kicks. So here, let's get both the lions here. Here's one of the classic views here. See, it's just just how an institution should look. With the lions there, how you doing? Appreciate it. There's the Symphony Center there. That's where the Chicago Symphony Orchestra plays there. Yeah. Yeah, Ernie, Christopher, we got everybody's in the house. Linda, Patricia, thanks everybody. Who else are we missing here? Let's see, Michael, all the Michaels. Yeah, so I missed your comment. We got so many new comments coming in here. Hey, we got 105 people tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. We're finally getting some traction here on YouTube. Thanks to everybody for, and see, they got it closed. So that's why we saw it on Saturday. There's the fountain to the 5 Great Lakes. And the fountain was on weekends, so I guess they turned it off. So if you want to see, there's the There's the Chicago street sweeper there going by. And so if you want to see footage of that with the fountain on, check out my TikTok. We got a rerun. There was somebody taking wedding photos there in the traditional dresses or attire, and it was beautiful to see that, taking photos there on a beautiful day. How you doing? So here we'll yeah, I hear that train coming there. That's the metro there. We'll try to cross here at Jackson Boulevard here, South Grant Park Garage. You take the elevator down. But these trees are just beautiful. You know, they got these little green leaves and the shadows they create. A lot of people, when this is open, you go in there and have your lunch. Yeah. Pete from Hazlet, Michigan there. How you doing there? Yeah, look at that. Look at the artist to the Chicago. Yeah, Chicago's had a long problem with crime. Even before Prohibition, this city was known for people getting rolled going through the train stations. You know, it's a port city, a big city. We're the big bad city, you know. And it was bad in 1999 when I moved here. It's bad now. It'll probably still be bad when I'm long gone. Here, let's cross the street here. Hey, how you doing there? So here we'll head past the Relish Hot Dogs here. There's Michigan Avenue. We're crossing here at Jackson. We'll head over to the Buckingham Fountain. See, they got lemon steak ups here. You get your Relish hot dogs. Get your Chicago style hot dog. Sit right out here. And then we'll go through this park with Sir George Solti, the giant head. There's the Congress Hotel, haunted, Roosevelt University. It feels like a summer's day. I'm serious. I'm walking in short sleeves. We got upper 60s, pushing 70, even here by the lake, and it's supposed to warm up to the 80s later this week. So, yeah, the day's turning out nice. Okay, so I'll address all the safety questions. We got them this morning. Every time I stream, I know it's on everybody's mind. It's a very pertinent question there, safety. Same as if you go to New York City or Las Vegas. Use the same caution you would if you would go to LA. If you come to Chicago, keep your street smarts about you. Just, you know, if you stay in the tourist area downtown by the lakefront, you go down to the Museum of Science and Industry in Hyde Park or up to Lincoln Park Zoo on the north side, you'll be fine. Don't venture out into unknown neighborhoods, you know, until you get used to where to go in this city, you know, and you'll be fine. Yes, crime does happen. There's a risk of crime anytime you go to any major city. New York City, Chicago, Las Vegas, LA, San Francisco, even Nashville, Tennessee. You know, if you go to, there's a lot of bachelorette parties. Don't get drunk and come stumbling out the bar 2 a.m. People are looking to rob people coming out of bars 2 a.m. drunk. That's, you know, it's just a shame that's the world we live in, you know. But I expect tourism to be down this summer because tourism's already down in Las Vegas, and it's because we're losing the international tourists, and that's beyond my control. And hopefully in the Midwest here, we got a lot of people from, you know, that's what keeps Lollapalooza going. We get people from Iowa, Wisconsin, Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, and Missouri and Kansas, Omaha, Nebraska, the Dakotas. They come visit Chicago because we're the American city in the Midwest here. It's easy to get to by rail. You can take the Amtrak, easy to fly in. We got nice airports, and the airports are connected by transit to the downtown here. A lot of hotels downtown. We got a lot of free activities in the summertime. Take advantage of. Here's the Metro tracks. The Van Buren station, the Metro Electric. You can get the South Shore line that goes to Indiana here, take you all the way to South Bend, Indiana Dunes. That's the South Loop skyline there, and there's the busway. We're in Grant Park here. What a beautiful day. It's actually pretty warm here. It feels like a summer day. Feels like it's 80 when it's only 67. Yeah, thanks, Christy. That's the best thing, is that thanks people tuning in for giving your perspective. Feel free to, you know, people are asking questions about the safety of Chicago as a tourist. read the comments there. People are giving good advice. There's the jet from the Buckingham Fountain. That's where we're heading, that geyser there. There's a giant fountain over there, and they just turned it on. So we'll go check it out after we check out the Lincoln statue here. Okay, the Windy City, good question. So, back to the World Columbian Exposition 1893. There was a competition, just like now cities compete to have the Olympics. Back then, cities would compete to have the World's Fair. Before the Olympics, World's Fair, it was technology, culture. Cities would try to promote themselves as, like Paris and London, being at the forefront of the Industrial Revolution. American cities tried to do the same thing. So there was a competition to have the World's Fair to celebrate the 400th anniversary of Christopher Columbus discovering America. And I know that's controversial now. It wasn't as controversial back then because the Europeans didn't care about indigenous cultures back then. We know that. Now we do. And so Chicago was in competition with New York City and other cities like Philadelphia to have the World's Fair. And they knew it was going to be a big thing. So this is the Abraham Lincoln statue in Grant Park. The CDC seated there. Why is it turning blurry? And then look at this nice view he has here. But so the Chicago politicians boosted the city. They oversold. They said it was the greatest city since sliced bread. It was, you know, we're building all these new buildings. Well, people from New York knew that Chicago was a brand new city. It just burnt down just over 20 years before that. The buildings that were rebuilt were better than the ones that were burnt down, at least Central Business District. But again, Chicago was no comparison to New York at that time. It maybe never was. But, you know, the boosterism of the politicians to sell the city was able to win it the award to host the World's Columbian Exposition. And then, so the New York press called Chicago that Windy City because they were talking about the politicians and how they were overselling the advantages of the city. And it stuck, and probably it's stuck because there is wind that comes off the lake. If you ever lived or visited Chicago, and in the wintertime you get a cold wind off the lake, it's brutal, and it breaks your umbrella. And so, but it's mainly for the politicians, but then it's also because there is wind. But we're not the most windy city. I'm sure there's other cities that have more wind than we do. But hey, it's a good question there. Yeah, bragging. It was bragging. It was that's what it was. And it was saying that Chicago annexed a bunch of land just before the 1890 census, so it could claim it had over 1 million people, but it's because it annexed a bunch of land, and that's why the city's so large to this day. And it's because they were extending water rights to the water system, and that's how they would coerce, like Lake Township, which is Hyde Park, which was its own city, to become part of the city of Chicago. So here's the Buckingham Fountain here. We made it here. We're crossing Columbus. They usually use this as a parade ground, or Taste of Chicago is held here in the summertime. They'll use this for NASCAR, and they use it for Lollapalooza, all kinds of things. They can shut this down. And here's the Buckingham Fountain here. It's named after a woman, same woman that donated money for the Hamilton statue there. We saw it on Friday up by the Elks Memorial. But here's the Buckingham Fountain looking towards the lake. Look how beautiful it is. You see how it cycles through. Every once in a while there's a geyser real tall, and then at night there's a light show. It's really nice to see it at night because sometimes they even have like music, and they have like a light show, and they'll have like little interactive things for the wheelie cars for kids to drive around. They'll bring stuff out here in this warmer summer months when the tourists are in town with school's out. Yeah, the fountain's on. Ernie, remember Ernie? Ernie got some good. Ernie met the mayor here. When mayor showed up to give a speech before they lit the fountain there. Ernie shook his hand there. And City Walking Girl, she was over there, but I didn't see her. We saw this Gemini over here. He was filming it. You can go to YouTube and find his nice high quality video of the turning on of the Buckingham Fountain. But here we'll walk around here so we'll get this nice skyline view. Look at it. It's the Sears Tower, Metropolitan Building, the whole loop skyline there. Look how nice it looks. What a great vantage point. Thanks for tuning in here. Yeah. Germany, how you doing there, Andy? Thanks for tuning in there. Yeah, this fountain's huge. Of course, Chicago always likes to claim everything's the biggest. I don't know if this is the biggest fountain in the world, but it's certainly one of the biggest fountains I know of anywhere. And it looks like a big wedding cake. It's like a big wedding cake layered with champagne there. Look at that. So here we'll go around and get the skyline with the fountain here. You can ride your bike. See how they got the restrooms? They got some restrooms. They got some formal gardens on either side. It's like you're in Paris. They said park closures 5:13 to 5:31. That's why we're filming it now. They might start closing this area down for Suenos. They're gonna start setting up for some of the summer festivals that are gonna happen in Grant Park. But hey, look at that beautiful skyline there. Oh yeah, I agree, Ernie. It's one of the most beautiful fountains in the world here, and we're so proud and happy to have it here in Chicago. And that's why I came over here. And here, turn your phone sideways. Look at that. Look at that nice view there. You get the whole skyline there. Look at that. Isn't that nice? I used to stream in widescreen. I know people have requested me to continue to stream in widescreen. It's just the YouTube algorithm. You see how it's pushing my videos. We get more people watching, and we got more people tuning in here that I stream in the vertical aspect. These people have their cell phones, you know. But here, there's the Sears Tower, the Buckingham Fountain here. Doesn't it look nice? We got 12:23. We got picture perfect day here, like 68 degrees, sunshine. The fog's burned off. You can see some fog out there. That's Lake Michigan. Let's see how many boats are in the harbor. We can head over to the lake right there. Look at that. Yeah, the Buckingham Fountain's looking nice. See how you get the Sears Tower from this view. You get that's a nice skyline view there. Yeah, Married with Children. This is the Married with Children fountain there. You can see the Love and Marriage of the Frank Sinatra song. Yeah, the Love and Married with Children sitcom on Fox that aired for so long. Al Bundy and Peg and the whole family. Yeah, this is the Married with Children fountain. You got it. Chicago, Illinois. That's how I should call it. Most people know it that way. And you can also see it in National Lampoon's Family Vacation at the beginning of the movie. They go by it with Chevy Chase there, the original one. Look at the big bus tour here. Let's see how it looks by the lake here. There's the Buckingham Fountain there. Yeah, you want to go see it? Check it out. So here, so we missed the light here. Let's head through the forest here. We'll go through the trees here since they're green. There's the Buckingham Fountain here. Yeah, what's good? The Buckingham Fountain's good. The weather's nice. Yeah, gift from England. Now, yeah, I know it's named Buckingham because, see, look, it's dedicated to her husband. Her husband's name was Clarence Buckingham Memorial Fountain, and it has the date here, 1927. 1927 is when it was dedicated. Of course, the Buckingham family, Clarence's wife, her name escapes me. You can look it up. She became a philanthropist, and she donated money for this, and she donated money for the Hamilton statue and a bunch of other things in Chicago. So it's named after a Chicago resident. Their last name was Buckingham. But Queen Elizabeth II visited Chicago decades ago. She came here on the Queen Mary, I think. I'm not for sure about that, but she came to Chicago and she saw it. So Queen Elizabeth II visited the Buckingham Fountain here in Chicago. And there it is. I'm sure she appreciated the name. Yeah, July the 6th, 1959. Thanks, Ernie, for the good info. See, hey, I really appreciate when my friends and mods there give me good info. That's great. Yeah, Don Knox, how you doing there? You know Don Knotts? That's good. I'm sure you get that a lot. Yeah, Ernie, that's good. Lucky guy. So here, we'll catch up on the comments there. That's okay. If you miss me any day, you can follow there's reruns. There's reruns. You can watch the full rerun, at least the YouTube. And look how many pieces there. Look at the good info here. So this is not open yet. They'll open this up later. They got these nice little concession stands here. They kind of look very Parisian. That's the comfort restroom station. So there's public restrooms, water fountains. You know, you see the fountain, you got to use the restroom. Here, we'll check out this little smaller fountain. See how they have nice formal gardens here? This reminds me of, it's not as nice as Paris, but it's attempting to be a Parisian formal garden here. If you look at it in plan, it's a very French style garden as opposed to the more pastoral English gardens that we get in Lincoln Park. But we do have a French formal garden there by the conservatory, and that's what I call it there. Yeah. So here, look at this nice fountain here. They got it on. This was not on when I rode a bike over here on Saturday. This fountain was not on, so they just turned it on after, probably the same time they turned on the Buckingham Fountain. I just didn't go this way after that. But hey, look how nice it looks today. Beautiful blue skies here. Look at the trees. Isn't it so great that we got the green trees here? You appreciate it so much more after 6 months of going through a long Chicago dreary winter, that we got the green trees here. We got the beautiful sunshine. We're getting the same sunshine we get in August right now, in May. And as far as the brightness and length of the days. But it's not as warm as August yet because the lake's still keeping us cool. But hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome to Chicago. Yeah, we'll see if we can, good vibes. Good vibes all around. So here we'll, I don't know if I want to cross the street or not. Maybe we'll just check out the skyline. There are some boats in the harbor there. We'll see if we get the light. Depends on if we get the light or not. We'll let the light decide. If the light lets us go this way, we'll go this way. If the light stops Lakeshore Drive when we're there, we'll cross and we'll check out the boats here. I think I just missed it. So, see, here's part of the, you know, there's four quads with X's of trees here in Grant Park, and this is one of them. And we're heading up towards Jackson. And there's the left turns there. Let's see which way this light goes here. Yeah, I think we can cross here. So I'm going to attempt to cross right here. And here's a car coming here, so nope, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it. So you can see there's some sailboats in Monroe Harbor. I'm not going to cross there, but there's about maybe 25% of the sailboats are in. So tomorrow, Wednesday, they're going to be doing a bridge lift. There's Monroe Harbor. Some of the sailboats are in there. That's good. Another sign of the season here. Hey Toya, how you doing there? Yeah, nice park. Yeah, the blue skies are great there. Check out Christopher Dotson there, live streamer from New York. That's great. Appreciate you tuning in here and being part of the lunch bunch here. Christopher Dotson, that's great. And Ernie's here. He posts content as well. Ernesto. And here's Butler Field. Look at that nice skyline view. You got the geese. Yeah, this is one of the best views of the city. As far as the, Randolph and Michigan, you got, and look at that cloud. Look at that cloud behind the Sears Tower there. I wonder if it's going to collect there. Sometimes this time of the year, the taller buildings get like clouds that cling to them. But that's behind the Sears Tower. Look at that. There's the Loop of Chicago. And that's the Perillo bandshell. It's a different Perillo than the car company. No, I don't know. Maybe it is the same as the family. I don't know. That's the Pritzker bandshell, but that's the Perillo bandshell. That's an older one. And hey, look at the skyline here. Let's zoom in here. Look at that. Yeah, the new Pope Leo's from the south side of Chicago. Grew up in the south suburbs there by Dalton and Riverside there. The Chicago's very excited and proud to be associated with the new Pope, even if you're not Catholic, because it's a big deal. It's probably the most famous American worldwide. Might be the Pope. It might rival the president. And we know the president doesn't like to be outshone there, but we got, look, isn't that amazing? And of course, he spent a lot of time in Peru, and he spent some time in Italy too. But he grew up south side of Chicago, has deep Chicago roots, was a White Sox fan. They found footage of him at the 2005 World Series in the stands eating a hot dog. When's the last time you seen a Pope eat a hot dog? Isn't that great? And he likes Aurelio's pizza. Aurelio's is capitalizing on that. They're from the south suburbs there. Chicago style pizza. And they had a location over there, but I think it's shut down. So here, I'm gonna get a drink of water at this water fountain. See, this is DeSable Lakeshore Drive. Lake Michigan's over here. We'll head back through Millennium Park. We got 1231. Yeah, nice water fountain there. Look at the full height of the Sears Tower there. 1,400 feet tall. With the towers, it's 1,700, but it's still much shorter than the current super tall towers that are mostly 2,500 feet tall. Yeah, Petrillo band shell. Petrillo, thank you. So it's not Perillo, it's Petrillo band shell. I knew it was different than Perillo. Yeah, thank you, thanks. Petrillo band shell. Thank you for helping me out with that. So they use this for Lollapaloozas. I don't know if they're going to use it for Sueños. They use it for NASCAR. And here we'll see if we can cross Monroe here. And we'll head back into Maggie Daley Park, part of Grant Park here, Chicago, Illinois. Beautiful day here. 12:32, March the 13th, 2025. Thanks for tuning in here. And yeah, we'll cross. Yeah, if you missed it earlier, you can rewind it. We went by the Buckingham Fountain there. It was looking nice. It's on now. On for the season. Summer's on. And we'll walk across the pedestrian bridge there. Head back to Millennium Park. But we'll check out the trees here. And hey, we got the light. Everything's working out here. So we'll cross Monroe Street here. There's the traffic moving on DeSable Lakeshore Drive here. So Maggie Daley Park. Maybe if we head this way, we can kind of get some glimpse of the Field Museum. We can look straight up to the St. Regis there. No, it's not that windy at all. It feels like a beautiful summer's day. It feels like 67, it feels like 70 degrees in the sun. I'm wearing a short sleeve. I'm just wearing a short sleeve shirt, you know. And how you doing? See, it's a beautiful day. Look at that, we're right here by Lakeshore Drive. Look at that. Thanks for tuning in. And it's cold and raining where you're at there, Casper? Oh yeah, see, it can't be sunny everywhere. But we were fortunate it was kind of foggy this morning just by the lake. There was sun in the suburbs. And everybody that drove in and commuted, when I went to work, there are people in the office today. They were like, what's this fog? I said, it's the lake. The lake's still upper 40s. And anytime the air temperature's warmer, in the morning there, it's like a big chiller, chilling everything down. So here's the tail end of the redbuds. The redbuds are starting to lose their purple color. So here's the play garden. They got the I won't go too far in here because this is for, you know, it's a playground here, but there's families in here. This is free. This is part of Maggie Daley Park. And they got giant slides. They got this big suspension bridge that you can run across. And look at the beautiful landscaping here. And look, yeah, see, here's like all these crazy slides over there. And we walked across the suspension bridge. They got little interactive stuff here, Enchanted Forest for all ages. Look at the beautiful landscaping here. They got little, look at these slides, crazy tube slides, and you can run through the Enchanted Forest, the upside down trees. And some of these have become water features. They turn on water features. Hey, look at that. See, taking a photo there. Look, they got the dolphin there. Yeah. What a beautiful, yeah. They got the ship there. You can play on the pirate ship. They got swings for all ages here. The wave lawn. Walk across the suspension bridge. Look at these beautiful redbud trees. Yeah, they got like a pavilion over there. There, the sea, ages. You got like a whale. There's like rubber flooring, so if you fall down, you don't scuff your knees here. So, yeah, there's the ship. You got you on the run there. Oh, your grandchildren love that park. Hey, Toya, I'm glad they take advantage of it. See, the official switching on Buckingham Fountain. We saw that. There's the whale. That's great. I'm glad your grandchildren take advantage of it. Isn't this a nice amenity when you're downtown here? They got picnic tables. You can bring a picnic lunch. And we all share this park. This is our living room. This belongs to all of us. And that's why it always will continually baffle me. I know people might not like the city, but we got some unique stuff that you can enjoy for free, whether you like the city or not. So, you know. And here we'll see they got a putt-putt golf course over there. We'll see it when we go across this bridge. We got 1237. Beautiful sunshine here, 70 degrees. This is what we've been waiting for. All those cold winter months, walking in the snow and the rain and the gloom, and look at it now here. Hey, Robert, how you doing there? Fonzie. Man Meat World. Oh, Canada. Yeah, all my Canadian friends there. Thanks for tuning in there. Happy Dog, AAA Sparky. Yeah. Yeah, show your face. Show your face. That's why I'm like, I do it as, I'm like, check out my page. They're pinned to the top.
Hi.
Hey, that's good. That's good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for saying hello. What a beautiful day. Yeah, what a beautiful day. Thanks for being out here. That's great. See, friends and neighbors saying hello. Isn't that great? Yeah. See, just walking across the bridge here. And Idaho, how you doing there? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, look at this skyline view. So they call this the BP Bridge. Everything's like corporately branded here. Whoever sponsored it. But we call this the Pedestrian Bridge here. It's the same style as Frank Geary's band shell, the Pritzker band show over there. His millennial modern style here. And yeah, it gets really warm. You can imagine the heat focuses down in here. You got to be really heat resistant plants down there. Look at this interesting walkway. Oh yeah, the views are great, especially going this way. That's why I chose to walk it from, you want to walk it from east to west. You want to head towards the west because then you got the skyline as you head across it, and even the sunset. Imagine sunsets behind that skyline there. And I know people recognize my voice. That's why I say I treat this like a radio station. It's like a radio station with some visuals, and which is great because, you know, the older I get, eventually, you know, what if I can't walk anymore? I could turn this into a podcast. I can get me one of those fancy mics and just sit there and run it out of my place there and just do a podcast, and then I'll show my face every day, and then people will be like, stop showing your face. Go back to not showing your face. We want to see you walking around the city. Look at that. Yeah, it's a documentary. And it becomes like a daily vlog. Like you can go back in time and see what the weather was like. You can go check out my archives. Go to the live tab there. It's reverse chronological order. We do this usually 5 days a week. Some days I only get 4 days in. But we do this consistently if we can. Every once in a while I have a lunch meeting or something. I can't hit it. But hey, they got some tents set up here. Here's Pritzker band shell. They're working on the lawn here. It looks like they're resodding the grass. Let's see what's going on here. Look at all this work going on. Hopefully they'll get this done pretty soon. They got to have some summer festivals going on here. Yeah, you're addicted to love. WBRC, there you go. That'll be my call letters there. That's good. That's a good one, Scott. Be a voice actor. Yeah, I'd like to be in an animation. Follow the great Robin Williams, or who else is voice actors there. I'll do Garfield the cat. That would be nice. I guess Bill Murray would do that. But I'm the new Harry Carey. Hey, look at the, yeah, they're rolling out the side there. Look, they're working on the lawn here. So here's scenes of the city. This is what we show. How often do you see them resodding the great lawn here for the Pritzker Band Show here? And they worked on the, see, they have these booms. They've been working on the structure there, the trellis that arches over the whole thing. Yeah, Alice Cooper, Robert Palmer. You gotta have to face him. We're addicted to love. Yeah, is that the video he had the women in the short skirts with the slick back hair playing the guitars as backup? Yeah, that iconic video. Yeah. And then he followed it up with the next song. It was 2 years later. He had another similar song with the same. He kept going with it. But here, let's look at this. So hey, they're working on the great lawn here at the Pritzker Band Show. So here, let's head into the Lurie Gardens here. Let's see what's see how they're looking here. Oh, they're looking nice here. Let's go right through here. Holy cow! Yeah, see people sitting here enjoying the beautiful day here by the hedge, the magic hedge. So usually they turn this on and the water kind of flows like a canal, but you can stick your feet in it, but they don't have the water in it yet. But here, look, there's some tulips. Hey, there's some tulips blooming here in the Lurie Gardens here. So let's check out the tulips here. May the 13th, 2025. It's a Tuesday. We got 12:43 in the PM. Look at these beautiful gardens here. Yeah, the Lurie Gardens here, city in the garden. Look at this. See, I'm very fortunate. You know, I long before the age of live streaming, I would go to the Art Institute at lunchtime. I would go to just walk through here. You know, I would do. You know, people like somebody asked me. They said, "What motivates you to keep?" Well, I've been walking like this. This is pretty much my lifestyle. Walking to work, walking at lunchtime, walking after work. I know it's a lot of miles, but you know, there's a good overview. Look at the Lurie Gardens here. I saw that. Thanks, D. Michael. Yeah. Yeah, we lost Robert Palmer. Yeah. He partied too hard. I know it's tragic. But here, let's head through the Lurie Gardens here. Let's check them out. Well, that's why. Live every day like it could be your last. You know, take what Diana said to heart. Be positive. That's why I posted that video, reposted of Diana there with her dog Gizmo. You know, and we got to support each other here because hey, there's the bird taking the bird bath. There's the bird bath. How you doing there, bird? Yeah, it saw me. It says, "Don't film me taking a bath." Here we'll head. Yeah, the beautiful tulips here. Look at that. Wow. Hey, you could just lay on the bench there. City in the garden. Yeah, thanks for appreciating here, you know, and that's why it never ceases to amaze me, the people that, I'm like, okay, I understand if you don't like Chicago, but, you know, just scroll on to something else. People just, it's so easier to tear something down than to build it up, but that's the nature of the human condition. I guess it's like me complaining about politics. I'm just as bad. No one wants to hear that. But here we'll yeah, there's beehives behind this hedge. There's beehives, and there are bees here for all these flowers, which is nice. Yeah, Vanguard, how you doing here? Yeah, we've had over 100 people several times doing here, so we'll head back to the Bean there. This is a very touristy, just Millennium Park, Buckingham Fountain, Millennium Park. You know, it's very easy stuff to check out here if you've never been to Chicago. We can show you how to get around here. And so here's the Nichols Bridgeway. Let's head up here. This has a nice overview of the city. And when this is open, you can walk. See, it's closed. It's closed because the Art Institute's closed today, but trust me, there's beehives over there I was going to show you. And then, yeah, we'll check out the Crown Fountain one last time here. Let's see if we can catch the fountain spitting out the water there. And then we'll head to the bean there. There's the great bean there, and we'll round it out. We'll finish it off with the bean here before we head back to work here. But hey, I've been enjoying this, getting my vitamin D here, getting some sunshine on my skin. They're tossing the football around. That's great. People checking out the tulips here, laying on the grass. How you doing? Yeah. People taking photos in front of the tulips here. There's the train. There's the train pulling into the station. Looks like a green line pulling out of the station. And this is Madison. So we were here before. Deja vu all over again. But let's see if we can get some more footage of these fountains here. Yeah, tons of things to do. Diane there, Lambie T there. That's good. Yeah. So yeah, see where Drowsy wants to go. Maybe Drowsy would prefer Las Vegas. Las Vegas is great. Las Vegas needs your tourism money, so please, yeah, go to Las Vegas. Their tourism's down because we're losing the international. So Drowsy, you can go check out Las Vegas. That's fine with us. Or maybe you'd like. So they just changed it. They just changed it. So and again, I am not live streaming to get anybody to visit here. I would be fine if nobody visited Chicago. That's fine with me. I don't work for the tourism bureau. I'm just a guy that I work here. This is where I live. Just like other people, wherever you're at. I'm sure you live stream from your house, or maybe you don't live stream, but if you did, where would you go? You would go around where you live. And I'm sure you would enjoy, no matter how beautiful. Maybe you live in the most beautiful spot on earth. You live in Venice. You live in Miami Beach, right on the beach there, you know, and someone will, someone will find something to say, you know, look down on your city or your beautiful area of the world there too. So, you know, your opinion means nothing to us. Thanks for trying to be an influencer by just being negative. Good luck with that. You'll be the first negative influencer that just, you know, like a critic. Just and we've had hundreds of thousands of negative comments, hundreds and thousands of trolls, hundreds of thousands of people that bash me, bash the moderators. It ain't gonna stop us. You know, isn't it great to feel powerless? Your opinion means nothing to us. I'm talking to the negative comments here. So here, let's go check out the. But I respect your right to say it there. You know, my mods will block you if you do personal attacks and say rude stuff, because no one likes that. So here's the Great Bean of Chicago. Here, look at the clouds. It's the true cloud gate. Anish Kapoor is the artist from London that won the competition there. And this has been here for 20 years. They cleaned it up. Remember, they were working on it over a year ago. People in beautiful dresses here. Hey, look, he's hugging the bean there. Look, so you can reach out and touch somebody. And that's why this is so popular. You can see yourself in the sculpture and the skyline reflected there. Isn't that great? Yeah, nice shot there. That's good. See, we'll do the same thing. Let's go up here. Hello, how you doing there? See, Brian Really Chicago. Look at the great skyline here. There we are. How you doing there? Yeah. See, look, they're waving there. They're showing it to their family members here. Let's go check out this overlook. You can see the outdoor seating here. Beautiful street wall Chicago here. Double Clutch Brewing Company here. Look at that. And I think a lot of people fundamentally misunderstand what my channel's about. What is my channel about? Essentially, it's this. Just like my father and mother, when I moved to Chicago in 1999 out of college, they were worried about me, a farm boy moving to the big bad city. They were worried about their little son there living, you know, getting mugged there, running out of money, being drunk at the bar. And most of my audience, like you guys, you know somebody that lives in Chicago. You used to live here. You got sons, daughters, relatives. Maybe, you grew up here, moved away. You just want to see what it looks like now. There's just, people connected to the city. We're all connected. And that's all my channel's about. And we got this great community of people that just enjoy seeing what the weather is, what the latest cultural thing is, what I stumble upon. People say hello, we cut out the reruns. It's fun, and it'll baffle me to the end of my days to why some people just can't understand that it's just about living. It's just about living life no matter where you're at. Daily scenes of urban life. It doesn't matter that it's Chicago. This could be New York City or, any other Midwestern city. It's just, I happen to live in Chicago. You got to film where you're at. And this is what we got, We're not the best. We're not the worst. I'm not claiming we're the best. People always try to do that. They were like, is Chicago better than New York? No, I don't think Chicago's better than New York, but I don't think New York's better than Chicago either. I don't think about things that way. I don't try to rank things. We associate, there's positives and negatives to everything. All these little aphorisms I stole from the hippies. Like nothing lasts. Here's the Great Bean of Chicago. It's looking nice here. It's 12:52. We'll head. Look, the people sitting out here to the Casa Bonita. Casa Bonita. They got the. You can have a drink here. Sit here and watch the bean. Millennium Park, Chicago. Look at that. But I like cities. Chicago's a city. Not everybody likes cities, so I have to accept that. Some people will just not like Chicago because they don't like cities. They don't like any city. They don't like New York. They don't like Chicago. They don't like our politics. They assume all things about me because I live here. It's even worse because I live in Lincoln Park, so other Chicagoans assume all things about me because I live in Lincoln Park, because where you live, people project whatever they think about that neighborhood. And there's the tulips here. Comes with baggage. Everything in life comes with baggage. Hey, look at the tulips. Yeah, it gets cold. Yeah, we got cold winters. I'll be the first. I live stream in the wintertime, so I show you what it looks like, how brutal it is when it's 0 degrees by the lakefront. There's nobody out there. A lot of people they don't even live in Chicago in the wintertime. If they're wealthy enough, they have like 3 or 4 houses and they live somewhere else. Yeah, city girls. Yeah, their mom's basement. That's all the trolls there. Very lucky guy, I know. They never get out, and here we are out. Maybe they're just jealous that we have the courage to get out and they don't. I understand that. They feel trapped by their fears. And the world's a scary place. Yeah, there is crime that happens here. There's teen takeovers. It gets scary with the big motorcycle gangs riding down the street late at night. Street racing, drag racing, running from the cops. It becomes this big game, New quote. Hey Karen, how you doing? Hey, we got the band over here. We got live music. There's the L train. There's the pink line heading south there on the loop there. Yeah. Oh yeah, we got brutal weather in the wintertime. Yeah, it's like a badge of honor to live through a winter here. Look at those windows. They got those iridescent windows. That's nice. There's the Walgreens. Yeah, we'll just head up Michigan Avenue. We got 12:55. I'm going to head back to work. Hey, we saw the Buckingham Fountain. If you missed it, you can rewind the reruns there. Watch the whole live rerun. I appreciate everybody for tuning in here. And we'll head up Michigan Avenue. And hey, look at that trailer. We're our own city, yeah. Thanks, Ernie, and everybody. Michael, Anita, thanks, everybody. Yeah, we got this fountain on here. Nice to see this fountain back on. I wanted to turn the one on at Mariano Park. But here, the Cultural Center. Enjoy, wander, stay a while, shop, explore. You got a nice gift shop. Yeah. Yeah. People heading into the park here. Maybe we'll catch this light. Yeah, this light's about to. Hey, there's the guy with the toucan. Here's the guy. How you doing there? Look at that. That's awesome. How you doing? Wonderful, beautiful, beautiful plumage. That is awesome. That is great. See, there's the guy with the toucan there. No, that's That's a Macau. I always want to say like Toucan Sam from Fruit Loops, but that's a Macau, right? Yeah. And you see that on, you know, especially as the summer tourist season, you'll see people along Michigan Avenue with snakes. They'll let you hold the snake and take a picture. You pay them whatever their fee is. They'll let you hold that beautiful bird. You know, and that's why that guy's there, and he probably doesn't want me filming it without paying, but I was walking by, but I'm advertising his business. Look at these beautiful dogs here. Hey, the beautiful dogs. That one dog was wearing a dress. There's the Esta Loca. But here we'll head up, look at that nice view that we round off here with the Wrigley building there. Yeah, I hope you feel better, Naya. Thanks for tuning in there. Yeah, a lot of us are dealing with spring sickness here. I'm getting over it myself here, so I hope you feel better there, Naya, and we all got allergies and stuff. Pretty bird. Yeah, peace of Lisa, thanks for tuning in there. I love Warren Buffett. I love Warren Buffett. He's a great guy. And look, coming soon. Auntie Ann Cinnabon here. And here's the rainbow cone. Here's the rainbow cone coming soon here. I just really don't understand why the stock market's going up, because I think China's is laughing. They're going to sit here for 9 months and they're going to be like, nope, no deal. And they're just buying time. And the current president was so desperate for a deal to save the precious stock market. Either you got to do tariffs and hurt the stock market, or don't do tariffs. They want to keep the stock market up and do the tariffs at the same time. Good luck with that, because we don't know still how this is all going to ripple through the economy. It's going to take months to figure it out, and we're going to find out whether we like it or not, because the damage is already done. Here's Nutella. You get your jar here. We'll cross Lake Street. I'm going to head back to work. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. We'll be on after 5 tonight and TikTok. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I appreciate it. Ernie and Michael and peace of Lisa. Yeah, macaws are unpredictable. No, I know. No, thanks, Lisa. No, I really appreciate you have so much good information. You know, not just about the animals, but I like your perspective as well. And sometimes I'm just venting. I'm like angry about the stock market, and I shouldn't project that on Warren Buffett. I should project it on the hedge funds. So here, have a great day here from Chicago. Hey, there's the local media. There's the news there. Who is this guy? Let's see. You recognize this person here? Yeah, they're doing some news broadcast here. How you doing? That's great. So here, we'll sign off here. Have a great day. We'll see you later from Chicago. Thanks, Christy, Sharon. If I missed anybody, Lorene, thanks for tuning in. And if I missed anybody, Karen, Dolores, thanks everybody, Lambie T. We'll talk to y'all later here. That's great. Thanks a lot, everybody. Very lucky guy. Thanks for being on. Appreciate it. Michael Colley there.